Hello everybody, here we are, and it's time to just simply start refactoring the code again. So whatever the things were remaining, we are gonna just simply refactor them, and then we are gonna see what else can we do later. Just a sec, it should be fine. Okay, so let's just simply continue from here on, and switch it on as well. Just simply continue. So the next thing that we actually can do here, that is probably we already have this use shape appearance here. So do I need to mention the hook name? We'll see later what can be done for that. But as of right now, we have this context, not a problem. Context geometry. Anything related to geometry is gonna be here. That is fine as well. So resize handle hit test for I don't think this logic needs to be removed there. This geometry related logic should be in geometry. Interaction is mainly for the interactions where you are actually creating, deleting, and doing all these types of things. So that would be better. So then we have draw. Where can I keep them? Where to keep draw related functions that are mainly used for drawing shapes. Let's check this thing out as well. Think of this interaction, decide what should be drawn. Draw decides how it's drawn. So ultimately, for example, interaction dot move, then draw rectangle, and also I would organize it like this. So draw will actually have render scene, render shapes, render clear canvas. Then shapes are gonna be these selections, eraser, background, and utilities are gonna be these. So what stage in the interaction? Since your editor is already fairly large, I'd actually rename draw to scene, because that folder isn't about drawing anymore. It's the scene renderer. It contains everything responsible for rendering the editor's visual state, shape selection, overlay, eraser effects, canvas clearing, while the actual drawing interaction already has its own under this avoids naming convention. That's right. So scene. Any better name for it? Because at the end of the day, yeah, they are sort of the scenes. So we have shape, selection, eraser, even it is clearing the canvas as well. So yes, since the folder is responsible for rendering rather than drawing, there are several names that are more descriptive. So there could be render, there could be canvas, painting, scene, or renderer. Render everything related to rendering the canvas. Okay, so render can actually have these things. Not really a bad option at all. So instead of naming it this, we can actually name it a render. This will is mainly used, but in that case then we have two things here. We have render and we have renderer. We have to render and renderer. Is that okay? Or should I have everything in at one place? It's okay, but don't I don't think it's ideal. The names are too similar, and after a few months you'll find, does this belong to render or render? So That's a sign that boundaries aren't obvious. What those folders actually represent. From your screenshot, render, content, shape, drawing, selection, and all these things. This is really drawing primitives. And render contents, render loop, invalidation, render context. So canvas resize and all this is the rendering engine. Those two are different concepts. My favorite, render to painting. So ultimately painting doesn't make so canvas selection eraser rename renderer to engine. I would actually flatten the renderer. So renderer, we have it inside nope, I am not. One more suggestion, also notice transform. I'd eventually remove it. Most of those files naturally belong to the interactions. That is right, so we can keep that. Painting draws shapes and this. How about naming and to drawing? I think drawing is better than painting for a project. It's so ultimately we are gonna have drawing here. So drawings will have all these things, and then renderer will have all these things. Render shapes to draw shapes. Then everything consistently uses that. Okay, that's fine. So ultimately, instead of naming it render, I'm just simply gonna name it drawing, so that just simply draws the stuff, and we have draw interaction as well. So this is how the things are right now. And apart from this particular thing, we have this renderer, store interactions. These interactions are there: history, image, manager, we have interaction manager, ultimately move, we have order, resize, selection, and so on and so forth. The next thing that I'd like to do, that is this transform. So we have get grouped shapes .ts. Where should actually be get grouped shapes? The question is not about where should it be. The question is where is this being used. Get resize rate is simple. This should be inside the resize itself. Resize line, resize this, resize this. Then we have get scaled shape in groups. Scale shape. Now it's all about checking where they are actually being used, and on the basis of that thing, keeping them here and there as per the need. Okay, so it's even raining outside right now. So where should I keep the remaining transform and utilities? I don't think ChatGPT will have the idea about the code where they are actually being used, but we'll see where to use remaining, where to keep actually remaining transform functions and utils. This is the last piece of the architecture. Don't keep a function in utils just because you don't know where else it put it where its domain belongs to. Here's how I organized it. So scale shape in group.ts. This is the only used while resizing. So move it to resize or interactions resize group.ts, and then get grouped shapes. This is actually used inside selection. So I'm not sure whether this is so or not, but get grouped shapes. So we get the grouped shapes when selecting, right? So let's keep it here. Hopefully this is the right place, and this is used in the while resizing it, so probably somewhere here. And apart from this particular thing, utilities get canvas center. This should be canvas center.ts viewport get canvas center, that is right. So get canvas center should be part of the viewport. Again we will see whether they are actually being used there or not. Then get resize handle is actually gonna be part of the resize, so get resize handle should be part of resize. Then we have get size, this is 1:2 generic, but does it actually compute it? So it computes the shape size. Geometry get size if it computes the text size, interaction and text, otherwise share utilities. As of right now, get size actually gets the start point and end point and returns the size, and ultimately it returns the width. This is start and end point, returns the, we'll see where it can be used. If it's generic, which generic width and height helper, keep it inside this. So ultimately we can have shared folder as well. Get stroke style value appearance, I'll move it beside the appearance code. So we have get stroke style value, that's actually gonna be the part of the appearance. And where do I have it? Well, I'm confused where to keep it. So that is actually the part of properties panel. So we can have appearance and there get stroke style value can be there. Not really bad options. If I go to the properties right now, properties panel, probably let's keep it for now here. Later we are gonna be doing it even better. Or shared appearance if it's actually being used at many places. Get text dimensions, get stroke style value dot ts stroke style value. What it actually does, stroke style value, how should it be? So either solid or this or this or this. So this is mainly used when saving the value. Okay, that's fine. Get text dimensions, that can be inside text for sure. So we can have text dimension that can be part of the text itself. We have get canvas cursor, get size, I'm gonna be get canvas cursor, it just simply returns us the canvas cursor. Where to keep get canvas cursor? This is mainly after selection if I'm not wrong, not even after selection, probably in the manager. It depends, if it maps the state CSS cursor, then it's part of cursor management. So yeah, cursor we already have here, yeah, right. So that can be, or even better, it can be cursor and it can definitely be just there get canvas. Okay, that's fine. So this is the get canvas cursor, and we already have the renderer. And get canvas cursor actually does what? It can be used inside the cursor, right? Get canvas cursor. Now I'm not sure whether the things wherever I placed them, that's exactly the right place or not. So to be sure about that, I'm just gonna make sure that there are no errors as such. Geometry, these are the just main issues are gonna be here. So whenever we are drawing, so use drawing as expected. Create shape, that's just directly in there. This is much better. Eraser, frame, history, huge image upload, image loader we have, image grid we have, image text dimensions, create shape we have, manager, this just simply handles only one thing, move, we have huge move, order, we have only this, resize actually has many things, resize the text, selection, there doesn't seem to be any error as such. Tool actions, I think the path for them they just got updated, so we will see how it just simply goes on. We have used create canvas renderer here. Already this seems to be fine, and the transform doesn't really have anything. Types, they have all the types we will see. Get size, I'm not sure where it's being used, so we'll check this thing out later. Overall, this is it. One dev. Okay, so use the tool actions. That's where we are having the issue. Toolbar button.tsx. Features, editor, components, toolbar, button. Toolbar button. Toolbar button. Let's just simply use it here. Now let's try drawing the things here and there. Hopefully everything's alright. It's been quite a long time, yeah. Finally I feel like that okay, overall things are going in the right direction. So this is it. We can draw a few more things. Can change the colors as per the need. Ignore the noise around me, it's just raining outside, so it's quite common. We can change the name, so new frame, this is it. Hi, let me create a group out of it. So group is created. We can just simply give it the color as well. And once this is the group, so if we hover over something, it actually looks like this. We can even the part of this. Let me create parent wrap frame as well. This, that is great. Now this is how it looks like. So there is a group inside that. We can even move the things here and there, and that's that's what I actually wanted. But we should be able to resize it for sure. Let's get some more things. Let's try writing something. I hope everything's fine and done, whatever. So hopefully this is already the part of the frame. Well, that is not so. So whenever we are drawing a shape, that doesn't become the part of the frame by default. By default, we can't even draw something directly on top of this. But overall, whenever we just write something, that should automatically be the part of the frame, right? So this particular thing hasn't been done yet, so we have to work on this thing. And as we are actually writing, so the color should actually be changing of it. If we come back here, the writing shouldn't change the color, just it should be added there, that's fine. Okay, so we have to just focus on one thing, that is, as soon as we are adding a color, as soon as we are adding text, right? So at that time I have to find the most recent frame, and we have to add its frame ID there. Yeah, so the way we are doing it here, the same way it needs to be done. So whenever I'm actually drawing a shape, and the shape is actually drawn inside this, of course, right now the overall folder structure that changed completely. So we can go to the interactions inside draw, we just start drawing the things and use shape drawing. And whenever we are actually drawing the stuff, so on pointer up, if I'm not wrong, that's actually being used. Not here. I think during pointer move, that is there. So this is the UI of the frame, handle shape drawing. So it just simply changes the UI. So coming back to this in here, so it gets the hovered frame, so get frame at position. So this particular function returns me the frame at the position. Then we will check if hovered frame, then invalidate the scene, otherwise set hovered frame, that can actually be null. So if this doesn't exist, that will be null automatically. So okay, in both the cases, whether that's being invalidated or not, we still have to set the ID, that is right. So this get frame at position, that is inside shapes. Well, this should not be there. This is the part of what? Get shape at a particular position. Get frame at a position, come on. This is the part of drawing. So get frame at position. This is actually the part of drawing, because it's actually being used there. This is how we have to even reorganize the things, because things may be scattered here and there. So we'd better just simply place them at the right places. So this way we are just simply setting it, hence that gets highlighted. And I think whenever the pointer up happens, at that time we just simply, when the pointer up happens, what do we do? Not just the pointer up, rather when we save it. And because if we on pointer up, before even that, handle the UI part. So when it comes to this, so the frame ID gets saved there. That is interesting. So we have the start, we have the shapes, we have the scale. So wherever I click, that becomes the starting point. And that is right. That simply means when we start writing, I should be getting the text. Ideally, I think I can directly, well, like we can't really do that directly. Wrap in a frame, and as we draw something, so it gets highlighted, and that simply means I have the frame ID, and it automatically becomes the part of the frame, right? So that is actually done while when I'm actually moving at this time. Okay, that's fine, but the same thing needs to be called when I start editing the text as well, or I just simply need to set the hover ID. Fine. Handle shape drawing over frame. How about passing it everything? So I'm gonna pass shapes because I'm gonna make a function out of it, proper function that doesn't depend on anything. Here is gonna be a number, but the thing is that it still needs to be inside a function. Or we can do even a better job. Let it be here. We can create altogether a new function that will get the same thing done, and that will mainly be customizable for the text. So when it comes to text, so we are of course drawing here, use draw. When it comes to use draw, we do not draw the text like this. That is right, we just simply add the text. So this is about drawing. Let's talk about the texting. So text editing, and whenever I actually do what, whenever I start editing, so on pointer down text, right, this is just simply gets called. At this time we have the point, that is nothing but the start point. So what do we have to do? That once we have the point, so we actually have to now the get frame, that's actually gonna be used twice. Get frame at position, that is right. So what can we do? As of right now, I'm gonna be just getting a copied version of it, or get frame at position, this one. Where to keep a function that's being used twice inside interactions. Let's see, it depends on which interaction I follow this rule. Place the function in the lowest common parent of all places that use it. So used only inside this interaction. So selection, get selection privilege, keep it inside selection. Use only inside one interaction, keep it inside selection. Used by two more interactions, suppose this and this, then we can have a shared function in here. That's better one. So we can go with this. So let's actually create a shared folder that will contain everything that is just simply shared among the interactions. So there's gonna be a shared one, and once I have it, so this frame, get a frame, not this one, while drawing, get frame at a position. This is actually used by many, so I'm gonna keep it here. because we still need to find the frame and it returns us that. And apart from this particular thing, if I actually go to drawing, even this needs to be at a better place, but as for right now I'm just simply gonna copy it, and the same kind of function I'll create for the text. So when it comes to the text, use the text editing, and probably handle double click we have, one pointer down we have, finish text editing if clicked outside we have, create text shape we have, update text shape we have finished text editing as well. It even calls the finish it, but it does not. Finish text editing if called outside, save text shape. This is how it goes. And finish text editing, so if we just simply text null, this is mainly called or used when we click buttons, if I'm not wrong. Save editing text, that is fine. The question is that where is this being used? So control F. So yeah, whenever we are saving, and after saving finish text editing, so after saving everything we have to just simply call this. So like text editing null and set selection select, that's right, makes sense. Anyway, once we've done this much, I'm gonna have one more function here, probably at the top. Get frame at position, of course I'm gonna be getting it once I have these shapes. I don't really have them here, so let's get the shapes as well. Once we actually have the shapes, we already have the scaled and invalidate scene. Again, this is gonna be handle shape drawing over frame, handle text, handle add text over frame, or handle draw text over frame, that would be better. And once I have this, what do we need to do whenever we are adding it? So if we actually have the hovered frame, we have to invalidate the thing, that is right. So we already have invalidate scene would be better. Set hovered frame ID, I'm gonna be setting it, and set hovered frame ID, set hovered frame ID. So what will happen, that as soon as I click, so on pointer down, I'm actually gonna call this, I'm gonna be passing the point from here, and then it should be done. And now whenever because we have to set it to null as well, so that simply means whenever I'm clicking outside, at the time it should be set to null. Finish editing if clicked outside, so set forward frame ID, that will be set to null. Ideally it should be fine, because when text shape we are actually calling this finish editing as well. The only thing that I need to do right now, that is whenever the text is being saved, so I have to get the hovered ID as well. So let me see, hovered frame ID, that's gonna be used. And these two things, they actually need to be at the top. Hovered frame ID, so whenever I'm saving the shape, at the time I am either updating the shape, or I am simply creating the shape. So updating the shape means what? Updating the text of that. Okay. Especially I have to do it when we are creating it. Updating doesn't really make any difference. So when I'm actually creating this create shape, so when it comes to creating a shape, we'll get the text dimensions, and we are gonna have the previous shapes in this one. Frame ID is gonna be over frame ID. That should ideally be fine. So if I check this thing out right now, wrap, right now it is highlighted because we are writing something inside that. So hi there, and if we just click outside and move this, so that has already become the part of this. That's what I actually wanted. And let's focus on one more thing, that is when editing the frame name, if the text is null, I mean there's nothing in the text, so by default it will have some frame name. So again, this now it's easy to get the things, because now we are gonna work on the frame. Let's go to the frame and let's fix it. So this way, what is the benefit? If I have to work on order, selection, move, manager, image, history, just go to that folder and you will get all the code related to that there only. That is the benefit of refactoring it this way. And what do we actually want to do? That we want to finish editing, handle change, that is fine. Finish editing, update frame name, and this is where it actually gets updated. So what we'll do, that is this value is gonna be the text over here, so sort of like this. If I have the value, that is great. If I don't have the value, I'm gonna have frame name over here. That is something gonna be the default value. So if the value of the value if it is either null or undefined, then this is gonna be used. And that is it. Hopefully it should be alright. So let's try this thing. So I'm actually gonna make it empty and click enter. So right now I don't really have anything here, and it didn't work. Never mind, let's just simply tap it again. Hi there, enter, that's the name. Yeah, we don't really get anything here. In that case, whenever we are updating that value, we get here set shapes, previous shapes. If there's the ID, okay, that's fine, returning the shape. So the shape is returned and then the text is actually overridden. So shape.text will just simply destructure it. Name is gonna be either the value or this. This should ideally be fine, but we are not getting that. Why is this happening now? Even we are invalidating it. Invalidation means what? If we have a text, we just need to invalidate a scene. We don't need to invalidate here we are talking about the frame. When it comes to a frame, so when it is selected, so yeah, we need to invalidate both the things. Probably we just need to invalidate actually both, fine. Then why is this not working? Let me check the value of value here. So CLG value is gonna be value. This is fine. Wrap in a group enter. So value is gonna be this. Now if I make it empty, so value is this. So if it is this, then probably this is gonna be better. Well, it doesn't seem to be working. In that case, why it doesn't work? If I have the value, in that case value, otherwise frame name. If I have the value, in that case value, otherwise frame name. Yeah, now it works. So why wasn't it working earlier? The value may not. It's working now, but why it didn't work earlier? Let me see what's wrong with this. Even I have to refactor it, I mean make the way we've written the code better. Anyway, this does not work. That is something we already know. So we'll just simply switch back to this. String always returns a string, so it never returns null. Okay, so it never returns null or undefined. So either we use or over here, or we use the frame name. That's fine. We can have it like this. Either this is great, or const frame name. That's gonna be either the value that we actually have, and it doesn't really matter whether we change that or not, but it's better to just simply change it. Come on. Otherwise, if I use question mark, it will not work, because even an empty string has some value. So we are using or over here, and this is actually gonna be having frame name. So at the end we'll just replace both with this, and this should be fine in that case. If I come back to this one, change the name, so change the or something, so this worked. Now I can select that again, keep it empty, enter. So by default that will have frame name, and that's what we wanted, right? So not bad. Okay, what is the next thing? We've done this. What can we work on? What can be the next option that we have to work on? Let's work on each and everything. Let's make the written code better. So almost we've done everything, and it's time to just simply start working on the things from the beginning. Go through each and every file and try writing the pre-written code in a better way. So again, we'll take the help of AI in here, but if there are some extra things and all, so we are gonna be getting rid of them. So this is the first thing that does the job sort of fine. We can go to the features, editor, components. Let's talk about these as well. So we have this is this way. Wait, we have canvas, we have frame name, we have editor, text editor, undo, redo, and these, and then we have this. Is this right way to is this right way to structure? We are gonna be taking the help of AI here, of course. Is this right way to structure? Because overall things are working, so once this much is done, we are gonna be getting few remaining things done, and then this way we'll just simply be going ahead. So let's check this thing out. Overall, yes, this is much better than scattering. So we have to go through each and everything, so that if there are suggestions, we can just simply apply them as well. So overall, yes, this is much better than scattering the context menu logic across multiple folders. Everything related to the canvas context menu is together. The only thing I'd tweak is the naming. I'd organize it like this. So canvas, then canvas.tsx, frame name editor tsx, text editor tsx, undo, redo, and this. Then we have context menu. This is the root component. Canvas menu, empty canvas menu. Shape menu, shape context menu. I'd rename two files instead of canvas context and selected shape context. I'd use canvas menu and shape menu. Not really a bad thing at all. So this one is gonna be shape menu. That's the benefit of using the AI for refactoring the code and applying good changes. This is gonna be canvas menu. Canvas menu. Call it context. Call it menu. Menu is better. And or empty canvas menu. Selected shape menu. This is even empty. It should be understandable, right? So canvas menu. So whenever we click on empty canvas, we should be getting this. And shape means selected shape menu .tsx. This should actually be looking like this. And the reason is that our menu content. The reason is that the menu contains not React context. So when I see a file named context, I immediately think of create context. So I'd also rename the hook. Instead of use canvas context menu, I'd use context menu. Use context menu.ts. It's already inside the context menu. That is right. So it's already inside the context menu. So it can actually have better name, and that better name is gonna be this canvas and context menu redundant. Context menu, that is it. It's already being exported. Then empty canvas menu, empty canvas menu, and then selected shape menu, selected shape menu. Then we have use context menu. We even have to write the code better way. Use context menu button, that is fine. Canvas this is gonna be context menu, and because the goal is to make the code as better as possible, so we are gonna be going through each and everything that can actually be better. Canvas. Alrighty, let's go through this thing first of all. We have canvas around 100 lines of code. Let's see. So what we are doing here, we have these refs over here. Okay, let's see how we can even make it better. I think let's go with this one only. Canvas over here. It knows the history, so it will be able to guide me better. I like the instance. The component is much cleaner than before. The only thing that stands out is that canvas is still acting as the composition root for almost every editor feature. I wouldn't try to make it much smaller because canvas is naturally where all interactions come together, but there are few improvements I'd make. Group hooks by responsibility. So grouping the, instead of like this, I'd organize them: context menu, frame editor, text editing, interactions, assets, and then global effects. So they are actually gonna be grouped. It's a small thing, but it makes setup easier to scan. So UI in the sense the context menu, frame editor, and text editing. Let me see how can these changes be applied here. So context menu, let me see. So first one is gonna be UI part, right? So UI, in UI we have context menu. Use context menu. Okay, this is for the UI part, that is right. Frame editor UI, that is also right. And then we have text editing. So we have frame editor, that's again context menu returns us many methods. Yeah, these actions and all these things it returns, used for the UI. Similarly frame editor, and same we have this part, text editing, there for the UI part. And then the interaction related ones. So interactions, and the first one is gonna be the canvas interactions for sure, and the next one is gonna be the assets related. So that's actually gonna be image upload. So handle image upload. Let's do one thing, image upload. And there are some global: use canvas resize, shape appearance, and use editor shortcuts. They are the global effects. Okay, so at least they have their comments, proper comments. And let me see, where do I have the shape appearance? This file is inside this only. Use the shape appearance right here. Use the shape appearance, that's directly used inside the canvas itself. This should be image upload dot this, and use the shape appearance. Let me see in how many places I'm actually using this. Well, more than I expected. First one is inside canvas.tsx, that is fine. Second one is inside background color picker, so appearance is being used there as well. Background color picker, that simply means frame, property. Stroke color picker, so it's actually being used almost everywhere. Yeah, that's right. So no doubt this is gonna be used by many. Use shape appearance, right? Why am I using it inside canvas.tsx? That is right, we don't really need to use it here. Set stroke color, because I'm not sure, I'm definitely not using it here, so let's get rid of this. Use editor shortcuts, that is gonna be used for sure, but as of right now this is fine. Then avoid destructuring only one value, that is also fine. I'll keep objects like this. On change this. Consider editor refs type. You are repeating scene, canvas, ref, overlay and pointer in many hooks. Oh, that is right. So in many hooks create a shared type, so editor refs. So we can actually have a shared type, right? So in that case, the component that I actually have, it can have types and it can actually have editor refs over here. We have properties data, stroke type, we have context menu type, we have. Let's just simply export this one as well. And now what will actually happen, that this editor ref, this is actually being used at many places. The first one is this. So editor ref, right? So if it is actually being used here, that simply means this becomes a global type. As that becomes a global type, so that should be inside let's name it index.ts or types.ts, or even better, let it be here. Open another one. What should be the name of global type file and where to keep it? I'd avoid a generic global TS unless you are actually declaring global TypeScript. Declare global, since you've been organizing everything under features editor here. Are okay. So editor reps type is being used at many places, including app and features. Where to keep it is used across multiple features and by the player, then it no longer belongs to specific feature like this. So option 1 can be source. We don't really have source. Types and editor.ts, and we can actually have it here. Then we can use it anywhere. If you have many shared types, then the types can actually be like this. Editor reps, that's fine. We can go ahead like this. So this is actually gonna be editor.ts, and when this becomes editor, we even have the point here. What was this initially? Canvas type, right? Let's get the editor directly. Editor.ts, I'm gonna paste it here, and pointer reps. Pointer ref is a hook, right? So the type of that type of, and that can be used pointer state. It can be like this, or even better. And because I used it quite a lot at many places, so I'm just simply gonna be replacing it like this, and that should be fine. Pointer is. So now we have both these, they can be used anywhere else, and this and this. We'll see how it goes. This is how it's gonna be going on. Canvas.tsx. Now this doesn't need to be here, or even better, editor reps. @type/editor. That would be better, or even better here. Alrighty, so the benefit of doing is this. When I need to import it, I can import it directly from my direct types, and that is it. And that's gonna be the global type for sure. This will quite simplify it a lot. Okay, let's continue, and we've done this part. Then anywhere that is okay. If you have many, that is also alright. Let's come back to this one. Remove the unnecessary null check. So if no this, then this. It doesn't throw any error as such. So if not seen canvas ref, yeah, that's fine, because they are just being assigned over here, so no need to just check it. That is right. This doesn't do anything useful. Those refs always exist. Their dot current may be null before mounting, but ref objects themselves won't be. You can remove it. The component size is good. Some people would split it into scene, canvas editor, and canvas HUD. I wouldn't yet. Your component is about 100 lines, which is perfectly manageable. One naming, I would rename canvas interactions to canvas manager interactions. Use canvas interactions to use. First of all, it should be interaction. So wherever I've used, well, that's bad. Interactions, and now this is how it will be done, because you already have canvas.tsx on pointer down. This is gonna be done. Alrighty, one more thing that we are gonna be changing, that is this. Inside manager, this should be what should be the name of manager? Let's see any better name. Looking at your architecture, I actually wouldn't call the folder manager. That hook isn't managing arbitrary things. It is in the entry point for the pointer events. That is right. So and delegates to the appropriate interaction. So in that case, pointer down, use, and then this. Okay, so here are the names I'd consider. Use interaction manager, my favorite. So manager, use interaction manager. The hook isn't managing arbitrary things. It is canvas interaction. So it's gonna be interaction manager. Use interaction manager. Use interaction controller. Let's go with interaction manager. So use interaction manager .ts. Use interaction manager.ts, and once this is actually done, so I'll actually go to the canvas.tsx and use interaction manager.this, and this is not really being used anymore. So yeah, this is how we are gonna be going ahead in interactions. Okay, so this is done. So let me give it to this one more time and be sure that yeah, we have done everything right. Rename editor refs to editor. Yeah, that's good as well. Editor, because it actually has just the values. Editor may contain other things, but yeah. Rename, you are passing more than reps now. Callbacks are composed later. The object represents the editor context. So editor reps, then this is optional, but I think it's a little cleaner. Okay, rename interactions. So since it's an interaction manager, I'd expose interaction manager or simply interaction. Both are slightly clearer than the generic interactions. Either we just simply name it interaction, and once this is actually named that, this is it. As for this editor reps, I'm gonna be just simply passing the editor from here. Extract canvas layer component. So we have this right now. This is perfectly fine only if it grows, and that's never gonna grow. So if you later add another overlay, guides, collaborates, etc. If you later add another overlay, guides, collaborators, etc., consider collaborators. How can no, we don't really need to do that, do we? Collaborators, how will it work if someone is trying to, we'll see if we actually need another canvas. Right now we already have two canvases, one is the scene, another one is the overlay. But suppose in future, again I will definitely add this functionality that people are gonna be able to collaborate. So when someone is drawing something on his side, that should be drawn on the on what? Yeah, probably at that time I will need another canvas for the collaborating. So if someone is actually trying to draw something from their own side, so that will not trigger re-render on my both scene and overlay. Rather, that's gonna trigger the re-render on the what? Okay, later we'll go through it. It will trigger render on the another canvas. I wouldn't do this. That's great. The common comments are good. Overall, that's fine. Uh, that means when I support collaboration, I'll have to add one more canvas. Not necessarily, it depends on what you are doing. A good rule is create a new canvas only when the layer has different rendering or updates characteristics. For Excalidraw Figma style, a layered canvas architecture often looks like this. So, background or CSS, background or CSS canvas. Then scene canvas, all committed shapes, overlay, selection, resize, marquee selection over on all these things, UI, text areas and content memes. So these two we already have. This one is handled by React. Background canvas I don't really think I need to have because scene is gonna be, no, I do need to think about it. Background or CSS canvas, interesting. Suppose I'm changing the background color of the canvas or I'm changing something. That doesn't mean the shape should re-render, right? What about the collaboration? Suppose you want to show other users cursor, selection boxes, names, library. You have two choices. What I recommend initially, draw everything on the existing overlay canvas. So overlay, my selection, preview, Alice, and all these things. This is perfectly fine for a few collaborators. Keep the architecture simple. Then dedicated collaboration canvas. If a collaboration becomes more complex, introduce another layer. That's gonna be the scene overlay collaboration canvas. Then scene committed documents overlay your local and collaboration remote users. This nice thing is that the nice can be redrawn independently without affecting your local layer. Interesting. When should you add another canvas? Ask, can this layer be updated independently? For example, scene changes once every few seconds. Your selection changes every pointer move. Remote cursors change many times per second. So those have different update frequencies. So separating them can improve performance. That is good. What would I do for your project? At your current stage, I'd stick with two canvases. When you implement collaboration, draw remote cursors and selections on the overlay first. If you later notice performance issues or the overlay becomes cluttered with unrelated responsibilities, introduce collaboration canvas. This way you avoid adding complexity before it's needed, but your architecture can still evolve naturally. Okay, so if I'm actually adding one more canvas later, okay, so when I'm actually rendering, so I have to check that the previous that I actually have, which one they belong to. So I'll have later selected remote shapes, and on the basis of that thing we can skip it and we can render the stuff. Easy peasy, we can do it. We can introduce one more canvas later in the future. One more thing, do I need to have one canvas for canvas bg change or style change? No, in fact I would avoid using another canvas for background unless you have a very specific performance region. Simple background, solid color, that's gonna be there, and no canvas needed. So ultimately the color can actually be simple background color, it can actually be applied on the CSS itself, so that will just simply do the job. No canvas needed. Grid dots background like Excalidraw, you have two good options. Option 1 recommended, draw it using CSS, background image, radial gradient and linear gradient. This is what many editors do because browsers handle it efficiently. So we can actually create it like this. Option 2, draw the grid on the scene canvas before drawing shapes. So draw grid, so grid is gonna be drawn. This is also perfectly fine. When would I add a background canvas? Only if the background is expensive to draw or changes independently from the canvas. Then this, for Excalidraw I would keep CSS background, scene canvas, overlay, react. So CSS will be handling the background, and that's enough for now. Great. When would I add a third canvas? Only if I add something like background canvas, huge grid, image, this okay, let's do one thing. Let's stick with the CSS. So and it even gave us this style. So let me see how it works. So style, background, okay, this is fine. The only thing is that let's do one thing, background color, background is color gonna be hashtag 1e. We are not assigning it to where, which one should be assigned. Should I assign, forget about assign, let's just simply paste it in here and see the result. Then this is how it goes. Color, image, radial gradient, background size, radial gradient, this is gonna be like this. This is just gonna be a comma. Second one is gonna be like this. There's gonna be a comma in there. Radial gradient, radial. I'm not even sure if it supports it. What to do? Let me do one thing. Enough of adding the things on my own. Add a grid style. Let's see how it handles this. So let me check this thing now. So at the end, this is actually getting handled like this on the top. So linear gradient is done like this. Well, it removed many things. So it's all about doing or designing it this way. Fine. So this is fine, and I'm actually gonna remove the color now. I'm not even sure whether Z index is needed right now. Z index is needed, but the color is not needed there. And similarly, Z index is needed in the lower one as well, and it sort of keeps going on and on. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see how it looks like. We have quite a few errors over here. Let's just simply resolve them. Scene canvas ref or editor as it is undefined. Where do we have canvas.tsx? We are not really having any issues here, or are we? Yeah, that's problematic. I better go here. Interesting, yeah. Never expected to be this good. Wow, it's cool, fantastic. Now onwards, we can draw the things like this as well. I love this. This looks such an insane, like it is insane. It looks amazing. The best thing ever, actually, uh, that ever got done. How does this work? Background color is gonna be this, the background image. So this is the color for that 1 pixel in the transparent. So I don't know how this radial gradient works. Background size is gonna be 20 pixel. So if I just simply comment these two, the color is also good. I like this color, not quite bad. We are good to go with this one. Good one. Okay, what next? And again, all the functionalities should definitely be working, so we can have more. This looks like this. Amazing. This suits it. The color that we actually have actually suits the background color, doesn't it? Anyway, let's just simply wrap it in a frame, and once wrapped in a frame, we can change the names. Hi there, enter. That's gonna be a big one. Interesting, good stuff. And we can enable this thing in future as well. So we can actually create the style separately, and so we can enable grid. That's interesting. Let me enable grid by default right now. I like the gridding section as well. It is such an insane thing, yaar. It looks just amazing, literally. And we can still move the things here and there. We can have n number of images. We can just draw them anywhere. We can even write some text, and it will just simply keep going on and on. Sorry, we can even get this today. That's still selected. That is fine. So yeah, this is how it just simply goes on. And I think the text size of the frame is a little small, but then when I look at this, then I feel like, okay, that's as much as that should actually be. Let's see. Yeah, font size is actually good. I mean, usually the font sizes there is smaller, so we don't really need to worry about it. Having said that, we can actually change the. Okay, we'll see. We'll try giving it good color. So. Already, let's move it rightwards, and let's continue. So we have sort of got one thing done. Let me pass this to it the last time. And the thing is that when we make our code better this way, we actually end up learning quite a lot. This works static, but it won't behave like Excalidraw. The CSS doesn't pan with the canvas, doesn't zoom, stage fixed with the viewport. If that your intention, just decorate perfectly fine. I would extract the background In Excalidraw, how it works, let me have a look at that. Excalidraw.com. Let's enable gridding. Global gridding. It turns out that it is increasing and decreasing. So I think and that is something we still have to focus on. I'd create a reusable constant sort of like this canvas background color, but I don't want it like this. Or even better, use tailwind. So tailwind can actually be used for that. Since you are building an Excalidraw clone, I wouldn't spend much time polishing this CSS solution. Eventually, you will probably want background, scene, and overlay, where background grid is rendered on a canvas using same viewport and transform. Okay, that is right. That simply means I need to create a folder or what? Does that mean I need to create a canvas for BG as well? This is not what we actually want, right? It should be zooming in and all. Eventually, yes, if your goal is to match Excalidraw or Figma behavior, but not right now. What I recommend right now, UI this CSS background. When you implement an infinite grid, once you support viewport transformation or move to, then responsibilities become very clear. We can have background canvas, draw only infinite grid, paper texture, background image, graph paper, ruler optional. It uses the same viewport. Scene canvas, draw only this. Overlay, move mouse, only overlay changes without a background canvas, clear scene, draw grid. Yeah, all these things are required for improving the performance. Background is still adjusted only when viewport changes. Do this. I think the architecture skills the best. Overlay canvas selection will handle this. Scene canvas will handle this. Okay, that's right. And then background will handle this. Then the content this is professional canvas editor, separate responsibilities. My advice for you today: keep two canvases, scene plus and use CSS background. When you implement a zoomable or panable grid, add a background canvas. Later, if collaboration grows, consider a fourth collaboration canvas for remote cursors and selectors, but only if the overlay becomes bottleneck. That way, you are adding layers only when they solve a real problem rather than introducing complexity. Okay, if I want to make it optimizable for lots of users, I need to add both, right? If your goal is to production quality collaborative editor that scales well, then yes, I would eventually separate both. A layered architecture like this works. Collaboration canvas, remote cursors, remote selections, remote drawing previews, user names. Overlay will have this, scene will have this, and background will have this. Great, interesting, I'll have it. I'll have to have it actually, because if I do not, then I won't have as much performance as I would want from it. So we'll have to have these things later. Why separate the background? The background only changes when the viewport pans and zoom changes, background settings changes. If it doesn't need to be redrawn, someone moves a rectangle, you size text another way. Okay, fine. Now it's time to implement one more thing here. Oh sorry, I'm gonna take a break right now, and once I'm back I'm gonna be implementing one more thing, that is gonna be the background canvas. And not only that, so we'll have one more canvas here, and probably this is the time text area. So if it is 2, then it should be 3. It should also be 3. Anyway, it's not, but it should be 8. Okay, it's not gonna be rendered. Even these should be 3. That is okay. No problem as such. So at the end of the day, we are gonna be adding this, and the ref is gonna be background canvas. So we need to create another component that just simply holds them all, because I'm definitely gonna be working on it. So yeah, soon we are gonna be working on this feature as well. I'm gonna take a break for a while. After that we'll be back, and then we'll continue from here on. Bye bye, take care, and see you.